Hi, it's Karen with Living Our Dream Homestead, where today I wanted to show you around the homestead. I wanted to show you the farmer's field. I thought this was ragweed, but my mother told me that it's actually tansy. It's this real tall yellow plant. It's just so pretty with the green in the background. We've had about 7 inches of rain in the last week here, which has been awful on our garden. Haven't had a chance to plow yet. So I'd say about 3 days ago, right behind the garden, I saw a coyote. It was quite large. It was a little bit bigger than my dog Smoke, and it was quite bushy. It looked like to be gray. So, you know, of course I'm out here, but I do have some kind of protection in case some kind of animal is gonna want to come out. I've never had one really come out on me. My son, when he would cut the grass towards the back area before you go into the woods, he's had a coyote run out at him and chase him. So not this year, but last year. So it was they are a tad creepy. Now I do believe this is honeysuckle, and I don't know about you, the only thing it gives me is like a scratchy throat and an itchy ear, but I guess it makes my son's allergies really bad. I get it smells good, but it really does a number on people and their allergies. Here's some of the water left over from the rain, all those, like I said, all that rain we had. In 2 days, we had 4 inches of rain, and it flooded my basement a little bit. Then a couple of days later, we had another 3 inches of rain here. That's coming along. That was a blueberry that I had bought at the nursery. And then I have another one there. And here's another one. Again, I eat a lot of blueberries, so I'm thinking about filling it, like have a whole area back here just full of blueberries. Now I'll just have to fight the birds. Our bridge needs to be replaced. It's leaning quite badly there. My husband said it's not safe to walk across. We probably would land in the pond. And our pond, as you can see, it's quite full from all that rain we had. Here's some of my ducks. They're loving being out of the cage. And there's his girlfriend, if you can see her hiding in the grass over there. She's sitting on a whole bunch of eggs. She doesn't sit there all day, so I don't know if they're ever gonna hatch. There's probably about 15 eggs there. And my son does eat the eggs, but we don't know how long some have been sitting there, so we've just been letting her sit on them and not taking them. Is that your girlfriend? We're gonna have to get you a girlfriend. I know. Here's one of the trees we had cut down. As you can see, it is hollow. It actually is hollow straight through it. And if we didn't cut it down, it could have maybe fallen on the house eventually. This is how it was looking. So that's why my husband, again, was leery of it. It had been like that for several years. This big tree, I'll show you what it looked like before. It's just been causing problems. Actually, a big piece fell the other day onto the ground during a storm we had. It's over 100 years old. They were counting the rings. I guess the little, I guess each little one is a year. And they said on one, they had already counted 50. And with everything else, they said it's probably about over 100 years old. We hated to cut down this tree, but the top part of the tree was dead. The bottom was still alive, but the top was, not. So it became a hazard with anybody coming down the driveway, say like Amazon or something. We were just afraid. We had a branch that was hanging that didn't fall off. It could have been a liability issue, so we had to have it cut down. And again, I love trees. I hate to cut them down, but when, you don't want to have them hurt someone or your home. Yeah, these pieces are huge. It's going to take a lot to move some of these. That's a mighty big chunk. And then we cut the smaller pieces over here. Now we again have a wood burning stove in the basement, so the smaller pieces, of course, my husband will eventually cut up and we will use it in our wood burning stove. In case of an alternative heat source, if the electricity goes out. That must have been part of the branch. Like I said, part of it was dead and there's a hole inside of it. The top part was black, and the guy that cut it down said that it had caught on fire, probably was struck by lightning at one time. And this was way before us because we never saw the tree on fire. We'll of course have to fix the yard eventually. It's going to sit here for a while. We do have, like I said, some of it we will take, and then we also know some people that, might be able to use it as well to heat their home. I do believe it was a pin oak. They ended up laying it down here, and then they ended up just cutting it. And then we got a tree cut in the back by my son's place as well. That one was over 100 years old as well. Actually standing on one right now. Like I said, these pieces are just massive. I mean, this tree was big. The bald eagles sure like to perch up on the top of it. I hated to take it away. I don't know if you can see that moving there in the water. That's a carp. We've got 2 big carps in there. They're actually probably too big, and we need to put some more in there. And they're supposed to eat, the bottom stuff, like the algae and stuff on the bottom. Try to clean out the pond, so to speak. Of course, my husband had to cut the grass again, with all that rain. It was just so high, like right here. He got some of it cut, but not all this here. Hey girlies, I know you're not liking this. It's like I said, it's a wet mess. And then the grass, it's just so high over here. I don't know about you, I'm wearing my mud boots because Tick City. I've already myself pulled off 2 ticks this year from me in the last 2 months. Hasn't been pretty. Currently, I'm a little bit under the weather. I thought I had an infection, but actually it was just my thyroid medicine was too low. Look at this. This is, I think, a snowball bush. And look at how big that head is. It's gorgeous. We've had this here I do believe maybe about 3 years. It's coming along. Believe how tall these trees are. So we've lived here almost 8 years. My husband, we bought these trees through the mail and planted them. They're looking good. Here I kind of just broke it off. We don't want it to get ready to go to seed, but hey, can have it for dinner tonight. I don't have a lot of asparagus planted there. I mean, I have a few plants, but they do take almost up to 3 years. This probably would be, on this one, this is probably at least the 2nd year on it. I have to go ahead and try to pull some of the weeds out of here, but I've got the pink flowers, those are strawberries, and the white ones. So I do have some strawberries in here. Again, it just seems like I pull back the weeds each year, and of course we have more weeds. I like that pretty pink flower. I don't know if you can see that right there in the gravel, but that is a killdeer, and she's actually sitting on her eggs in the gravel. She's very protective of them. I don't know if I can get around the other side and see her. There she is. I don't want to get too close because, like I said, she's protecting her eggs, and I don't blame her. But she's kind of camouflaged in the driveway here. This was Karen with Living Our Dream Homestead. I hope you have a good day.